Hello, and welcome to the President's Podcast. My name is Kirby Mallon. I'm your president of CFESA, and with us today is JC Curran from HiTech in Las Vegas, Nevada. Welcome, JC.
Thanks, Kirby. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Trying to stay cool. I'm assuming it's a little warm out there.
A little.
You got refrigeration techs sitting around waiting for service calls, I bet.
No, I don't have any refrigeration techs waiting for service calls. That's for sure.
Well, this series of podcasts are highlighting CFESA certified companies as HiTech is, and we also just want to get to know the players that are CFESA members. And thank you for joining us on the podcast today. So let me just start with some basic questions, JC. Where were you born?
I was born on Fort Lewis in Tacoma, Washington.
All right. You were my first podcast person who was not born in the city that they live now. Just about everybody I've talked to were like, yeah, I was born here and I never left. So thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. My dad was Army. He's retired Army. So I moved around my entire life.
So did I. I was born in Cleveland, Ohio, and moved just about every year. I went to a different school every year. So you were born there, and then where'd you move? Where'd you move around?
Germany twice, Korea, San Francisco. You know, the Presidio in San Francisco, Tampa, Florida, which is MacDill Air Force Base. So all over.
That's cool. How about that? That must have been an interesting childhood.
It is. That's for sure.
And how long you been? I assume you live near Las Vegas or at the outskirts of Las Vegas now?
Yeah, I live in Henderson, Nevada now, which is a suburb of Las Vegas. Yeah, my dad bought a house here in the mid-'70s, and he was still in the Army at that time. My grandparents lived here, so I would come to Vegas to visit my grandparents. When they retired, moved back to Missouri. My dad, when he retired, moved into that house, and then I did my senior year of high school in Las Vegas.
Oh, excellent. And did you go to college?
Did not go to college. I went to the Army.
Did you? Okay.
Yes. So I did about 5 years in the Army. I served during the first Gulf War. And then when I got out of the service, my dad was begging me to come work at the family business, which was not HiTech at that time. We had another business before HiTech. But we did start HiTech together in 1997.
How about that?
Yeah, so we're 25 years old.
That's awesome. I never knew that. I never knew that you were in the Army. That's well, thank you for serving.
Yeah, you're welcome. My pleasure.
And were you like, what were you doing in the Army? Were you like doing crazy stuff?
I worked in military intelligence, and I was an electronics technician. So I do have a background in kind of what we do now.
Yeah. So that's kind of how you, I guess not really how you got into the business, but you knew something about it.
Absolutely,
nice.
Yeah.
Good for you. I actually went, I did go to college. Didn't learn a lot in college. I mean, I guess I did, but you know, I've said for a long time that recently as president, I've been telling people, the children are coming out of high school. There's no need to go to college and spend $100,000 and get yourself in debt. You can come work for a CFESA certified company. We'll pay you $25,000 at least. In 4 years, you'll make $100,000, and you'll have a career that is unlike any other career, as far as I'm concerned.
I think you're absolutely 100% right on that. And college these days doesn't cost $100,000 anymore, so it costs a lot more than that.
Yeah.
You know, right. And you can skip college, become a technician, especially on the technical side. If you become a technician, you can make a lot more than that.
That's right. You become a master CFESA certified technician. Not only will you make a good amount of money, if you want to go live in Florida, you get hired like that from somebody, a fellow CFESA member in Florida, for sure.
Yeah.
Back to the Army. So you come out of the Army.
Yeah.
There was a business before HiTech?
Yes, there was.
What was that name of that business?
So the name of that business was Unique Enterprises, and it's still on the side of our building now, though we closed it a couple years ago. And that business dealt with the casinos and dealt with coin and currency handling products for casinos, banks, toll roads at that time. But that business my family started in the mid 70s. But it was getting to be a time where the bill acceptors were coming out in the early 90s. So the coin and currency handling was going down. So we were looking for a way to diversify, and we diversified into HiTech in 1997.
So it's unusual that you just kind of got into the commercial cooking equipment field. Did you guys just like see the niche business and just created a business, or
I
did you
actually
buy a business?
I actually grew up next to the general manager of Bernie's Commercial Service, which is still in business here today.
Uh-huh.
And so he was a family friend, was looking to make a change, and we hired him to sell parts to casinos. So that's how HiTech actually started. Was
Uh-huh.
we actually started selling parts to casinos, which was our customer base already.
Wow. So, well, interesting. So you moved away from coins with the
Yeah,
same customer base and
yeah,
went back to the same customer base saying, here, I'll sell you parts instead.
exactly. So it's
Wow,
much easier to sell a person that you're already selling, a different product.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate pivot in my assessment.
There you go. And then after we started selling parts, then we actually, lost our mind and started doing service.
So I have dyslexia. Uh,
Yeah.
I think I've told you that before. I used to always call you CJ,
Yes.
and I have to constantly. I have to think to myself, no, JC, JC. I
Yeah.
just today spelled something backwards. But anyways, and I'm also ambidextrous. I use both hands for pretty much everything.
Right.
Anyways, so if I call you CJ, correct me, and
Okay.
I apologize.
Okay.
Uh, anyways, what does JC stand for?
My actual name is Jay. My middle name is Charles. So JC is just my initials, J Charles. And the
Okay.
reason for that is because my dad was in the company. I'm a junior. So when people would call in and ask for J, which one, Big J or Little J? So
Uh-huh.
rather than being called Little J, I chose to go with the initials JC, and that made things a lot easier. So when people would call into the company and ask for JC, they knew it was for me. If they called in for J, they knew it was my dad, and that way they knew where to put the call.
Makes perfect sense. Uh, my name is Kirby, and I'm in the same kind of situation. My actual name is William Kirby Mallon III,
Mm-hmm.
and my father was Bill. And but when I was a kid, they um, called me Kirby right at the get go there. So that's actually my middle name, Kirby. So
There you go.
just a little bit of news there for the membership.
Uh huh.
Uh-huh. So what was your first job? Very first job growing up.
Very first job. My very first job was probably a dishwasher in a pizza restaurant in Clearwater, Florida.
Nice.
Yeah. So I did dishwasher. I think I moved up to pizza cook, and those are my first couple jobs. It was a
Yeah.
small family owned business. It was a Greek family that owned it, and it was a great business. And I worked for them all through high school.
Good for you.
Yeah.
It seems like you were kind of destined into the restaurant world
Well,
somehow.
a lot of people start in, fast food, McDonald's,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I did work at McDonald's too when I was in a senior year in high school as well.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a paper boy. That was my first job, and then I was a trash man.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, so, JC, I know you're an avid golfer.
Yeah.
I've played with you. You know how bad I am. You're a
Yeah.
really good golfer. You're an excellent golfer. So I know you like to golf when you're not working.
Yeah.
What else did the membership not know that JC does when you're not working?
Probably my next favorite pastime is probably shooting. So I'm an avid shooter. I'm a collector of guns as well. I like old type Western single action guns, revolvers. and lever actions. So I have a collection of those, and I love to shoot them.
Nice. What's your
Yeah.
oldest? What's your oldest one?
My oldest one's probably 19. I think I have it right here. It's 1962, 1934. Probably my oldest gun.
Really? Can I see it? Can
I'd
you hold
have
it
to get
up?
it out of the safe. I'd have to get it out of
No,
the safe. I just
no,
have
no,
the
no.
Colt. I have the Colt certificate on the wall here because
Oh, okay.
I sent a letter to the Colt archives to ask how old the gun was, and they
That's
sent me a letter back, and it's 1934.
nice. I collect
Yeah.
compasses of all things, and
Oh, there you go.
yeah, I have a
That's different.
compass. It's called a dry compass. Most compasses have liquid in them, and
Yeah.
they kind of rotate on the liquid. I have a
Sure.
it's called a dry compass. It sits on a pin. It's from
Mm-hmm.
1786 or something like that.
Oh, that's very old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you shoot and you golf.
I shoot my golf.
Yeah. Now you married?
I am married. Yes.
Yeah.
Celebrated
Okay.
25 years this year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And kids?
Got one kid. She's done with college, and she's a teacher.
A teacher. Excellent.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah.
Excellent. Cool. All right. So you roll into, so you pivot, your company pivots, you decide coins are kind of going at a style. Interesting enough, right now you can't get change. At least that's what they say. There has a change
Right.
shortage. Maybe you ought
Yeah.
to get back into that business. uh, so you start selling parts, and then I guess you at some point realize that you have to have service. How did you
Mhm.
end up with a full service company?
I don't even recall exactly how it happened. 'Cause like I said, we were going to sell parts, and I think we hired somebody who had also done service, and we said, yeah, they go together. Most of the time, in order to get manufacturers to sell you parts direct at that time, that you would have to do service as well. You couldn't just sell parts.
No, and that was a long time ago. And
Long time ago.
yep, and you're right. It was, you wanted to be authorized, and it really didn't matter if you made money doing warranty work because you wanted access to the parts and a discounted parts.
Exactly.
And
So
it's
at
a
that
lot.
time, way back when, I had some mentors that helped me out in this business, and you'll probably recognize some of the names. Bob Boswell from Industrial Electric.
Yeah.
He helped us out a lot in the beginning, sold us parts. Larry Phillips with All Phase,
Yeah.
the name that's going way back. Al Franson with Wells, and
There you
Steve
go.
Westerman with Stero, and of course Ron Arrington as well. So, between those 5-6 guys, I mean, they really helped us out in the beginning and taught us how to do it.
That's awesome. You mentioned the company was 25 years old. Is that accurate?
Yeah, 25 years old.
45.
No, 25.
25. 25.
Yeah, I'm not that old, Kirby.
And then what? Well, I feel like you've been coming to CFESA meetings forever. So I
Yeah,
guess
about 25 years. So I started coming to CFESA meetings immediately.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. And then you have branch offices. What area do you guys cover?
So we cover the entire state of Nevada. The West Coast is a lot different than the East Coast. I only have 2 branches. I have Las Vegas and Reno, and my Reno branch is 450 miles away.
Wow.
So on the East Coast, 450 miles could translate to 2 states away. So,
Yeah.
so we cover a very large territory, but not very much population. The big population centers are, of course, Reno and Las Vegas.
Right. So you do a lot of your technicians do a lot of traveling. Is that accurate?
Yeah, because there's a lot of small towns in between. We
Yeah.
go into California, Northern California, Southern California, Northern Arizona, Southern Utah. So yeah, we cover a lot of territory.
So and is it is there a lot of? It's mostly flat, isn't it? Or you have a lot of mountains also?
A lot of mountains.
Huh. So here's an interesting question. What what kind of truck do you do best with? Is it a Chevy, a Ford, Nissan?
So I
What
use
is it? What,
full size trucks. Most are 1 tons. Even in Las Vegas, in order to go to California, I got to go over 2 mountain ranges to get to California. I gotta deal with snow. In Reno, I even have it's even worse. Because Reno's a lot higher in elevation than we are, so They get a lot of snow in the wintertime. I use 1-ton trucks up there. I just recently bought a new truck that's got the Quigley 4x4 in a van, and so that's in Reno as well. So they have studded tires up there to get up to Tahoe.
Wow.
And winter service is difficult in Reno.
Okay. And what manufacturer have you had the most luck with
As far as
trucks?
um,
Ford. Are you doing Ford,
I use
Chevys?
Ford and Chevy. I use Ford and Chevy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I asked that question because we here in the Philadelphia area don't have mountains, and we run all Fords, and we have pretty good luck with them. And Dan from K&D, just to my west, he has a lot of mountains, and
Yeah.
he hates Fords because he blows all the transmissions constantly, and he has Chevys. So my question was kind of loaded because I was wondering whether the mountains have something to do with what kind of truck you're using.
Oh, absolutely. If you have to deal with mountains, you need the bigger engine. The on the Fords, you have the smaller engine. The 4.6 doesn't work for the West Coast, so we
Right.
have mostly the 5.4, which is the larger engine. Some of our vans are 4x4. That way we can get anywhere we want to go in the wintertime. So yeah, I would say the 250s or 150s are the ones you're going to have more problems with as far as transmissions. Yeah.
Okay. What do you guys known for in your neck of the woods there? Do you do mostly hot side, mostly cold side?
I'm
I think you do a
probably
lot of
75% hot side.
Okay. And
Yeah.
I think you do a lot of installations, don't you?
We do a lot of installations. Yes, I have an installation team, and that's all they do.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't too long ago that I hope I'm not misspeaking, but I think a majority of CFESA members 20, 30 years ago were just kind of hot side, and then some guys got into refrigeration. And I know what happened with us was the equipment would be upside down and backwards, and the dealer's brother put it in, and I'm not allowed to tell anybody that it's upside down backwards, especially the customer. And I got me in this odd position, so I created our factory certified installation division with the intent of trying to own the equipment, receive it, stage it, deliver it, and install it properly, so I don't have warranty problems that I can't get paid for. Is how
Right.
we kind of started that.
Yeah.
Yep. We're coming up on a 20-minute mark there already.
Yeah.
So a couple quick fire questions for you.
Shoot.
Pizza, red or white?
Red.
Okay. Wine, red or white?
Red.
Ooh. Your favorite delicacy?
Bourbon.
I love it. All right, my friend. Well, I appreciate your time today. I really do. JC Curran from HiTech, you do a great job out there. You're well known in the industry, well respected. As I said, a CFESA certified company. So appreciate everything you do for the membership and for CFESA. And thanks for your time today.
All right, Kirby. I thanks a lot, and I just want to add in that if there's anybody out there who's new or whatever, they're welcome to call me. And I had a lot of great mentors when I was getting into the business, and I would be more than happy to transfer that knowledge on to anybody who had questions.
Excellent. So we'll see you in Nashville.
Oh yes, obviously.
Okay. Our next conference is in Nashville, September 18th to the 20th. So if you haven't done so yet, members, go ahead and sign up, and we'll see JC there.
Perfect. Thanks, Kirby.
All right. Thank you.